Let's do a super fast explanation on what we got going here with the free Waveform DAW with the free Amplitube with free HyBrit. I got the acoustic guitar with the Viva humbucker, 40 bucks for that. Guitar was a gift. So what we got here is 3 channels of guitar. These are 2 like treble channels, and then the bottom is the like bass channel. Some people say just overdub all these guitars, but I want to see what you can get with just one input. So the input of the guitar is, I've used the new rack. I drop it in using Waveform. You can read about how to do that and send the input to the other tracks. The input is going to these other channels. I tried using aux-send, but that seems to be add some latency. HyBrit is a very well-known free plugin for that Marshall amp type sound. So I got the HyBrit and the Amplitube in the first 2 channels, and then the 4th one is what I call the bass channel. Now what I did was take the free HyBrit bass SVX expansion they gave out. Long story short, I'm using really like a bass sound. You just want to get a really articulate low end. Now, you could say that as a preset if you want. I have that on the 3rd channel, the like bass channel, we'll call it. Now these 2, I have the HyBrit and the Amplitube. The Amplitube head is shut off, but you can try to simulate that Marshall sound with using Amplitube. I suggest maybe the vintage metal lead or the actual Marshall heads that you can buy. This was free, so we're going to just talk about the free stuff. All these pedals are off because the stomps you want to have before the amp head. But the way this is configured, I have the HyBrit. So long story short, I'm just using the cab sims. You get the cones you like the greenbacks, and maybe the V3s or the V2s, or like the vintage 30s. So let's go really quickly to show that what I'm doing is taking a preset that I made, which is all stomps. Some of them are off, but I have the octavier and the equalizer and the overdrive going into the amp head, which is off. And then you go to the cab. I don't know if a lot of people know this, but you can mute all the mics, including the ambient mics, and go with the DI direct in. So it's just the signal passing through. You're really not using the cabs at all. And then the racks are either empty or off. So I'm just using the Amplitube on the front end for the stomps, because you want your stomps to go into the head. So the stomps of the Amplitube go into the HyBrit, which is the free Marshall amp simulator that everyone loves, on the MCJ setting with a little bit of drive at 2 o'clock. Then it goes into the Amplitube, the secondary Amplitube, which has its stomps. They're all here, but they're all off. And of course the head is bypassed, that's off. Then it goes into the cabinet, which I want on, which looks like this. The mics are up, ambient mic, a little DI, but what I got is the equalizer and the tube compressor on the back end, which is standard operating procedure for me. Digital reverb if you need it, but I already have it on the bass. So what you got is, I'm playing the one guitar, and then you get the 3 layered sounds. Now you can adjust that the way you want. Maybe you don't want too much frosty. You take out that. You know, you can adjust it the way you want. Maybe you want less of the middle. You can have these all set up in a different, you know, kind of texture. So this second channel, if you will, I have, it's mostly like that mid type thing, or maybe not. I might get that confused. But so you can go with maybe just the channels 1 and 3. You know, you make it the way you want. Maybe you don't want to do all these channels, but it's what I'm saying is with Waveform, you can use the new rack to add the one input to the several different tracks with all these different plugins. Another point I made was using the Amplitube stomps before the HyBrit head, and then of course the stomps you would bypass the head and the cabinet and the racks or shut them off. So maybe you don't use the bass channel. Maybe you tweak it all differently, but the point I'm making is that you can send the one input using the new rack, which you drop in with Waveform up here, the plus sign, and you drop in, and then it's new rack. See, plug-in racks, new rack. So on Waveform. So if you have Amplitube and your guitar, and you want to, make multi-track things instead of overdubbing, or maybe you're playing live and you just want that heavy sound of a few stacks. You'd send the one input to the other tracks simultaneously. And then the other point I made was using the Amplitube before the stomps. Bypassing the cab and the rack and the head because you're using HyBrit, and then so your stomps of Amplitube go into HyBrit, and then Amplitube number 2 that's post HyBrit, you would not use your stomps most likely, and you would not use the head because you're using the HyBrit, and then you would use the cabs are up, and you're using the racks. If you're using digital reverb or stuff like that, as you will. So you can see the different sound. You can even pan these left and right, hard left and right. It sounds something like this. So there you go. Have fun with it. Just want to pass that along. Maybe you want to give it a try, putting the stomps before the HyBrit, or you have options, using a bass amp. Maybe I'll just use a tube amp here that's really articulate for the lower frequencies. Give it a try.